Hey guys, this is Jaden from Team Shadow Strike coming at you with a video that I thought about that came to mind this weekend while I was at my locals. Now, as you guys, excuse me, 1 second. As you guys are aware, there are many TCGs out there, trading card games. Just name a few: Pokemon, Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, Kaijudo, there's a lot. And then there's Cardfight Vanguard. Now, this is just speaking from my perspective. I certainly can't speak for everybody. But this is just my opinion. And because I was asked the other day by somebody, what is the best card game? And if you had asked me 2 years ago, I would have said Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I hadn't even heard of Vanguard at that point. But in my opinion right now, as it sits, the best card game to play right now is Cardfight Vanguard. Now let me explain my reasoning here. Now, I haven't played Pokemon the trading card game since for a while. But the only thing I know about it is certain cards become unplayable because you got to keep up with the sets. If I'm remembering right from what someone told me, so I might be wrong there. Magic, I've been able to talk to quite a few people about. In order to stay in the meta, as it's called, and be able to have a good chance of winning in Magic, you have to be willing to drop quite a bit of money every set, or else you're just not going to be able to keep up. That's the way I've heard it explained to me, and that is ridiculous. Now, the one that out of all the other trading card games other than Vanguard that I can speak from the most experience about is Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, I was 10 years old, or maybe 9, I can't remember, when I very first picked up Yu-Gi-Oh! And I was introduced to it by, I think I saw someone else play it at school or something like that. I liked the card art. They said there was a cartoon for it. I watched it, and I liked it. It was cool. But, I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! For over 10 years, and I look at how the game is today, and I look about how the game is a long time ago. Now, true, 10 years ago, the game was still relatively new here in the States, and there was a lot of room where the game was going to evolve. I mean, I understand, as time goes on, the game's going to evolve, it's going to get more complex, there's just going to be a whole lot more, that's in the game that is just currently not there when the game first starts. A game is always going to expand if it becomes madly and popular. So, I played Yu-Gi-Oh! Back when my favorite time to play the game was when there wasn't a 2-3 decks that outranked everybody. Like, you say, okay, this deck is tier 1, or this deck's tier 0. Well, the way it is now, I don't even think there's a tier system anymore, in my opinion. I really don't. I think there's the decks that you have to play if you want to win all the time, and then there's like 1 or maybe 2 sometimes that you can play, but you're not going to win as much, or you're not going to win in any of your games if you were to go to YCS, or if your locals is full of meta people. Now, there's nothing wrong with playing meta, in my opinion. There's not. I mean, there isn't. I mean, everyone wants to win. But what the thing I don't agree with is right now in Yu-Gi-Oh! There are 2 decks that are pretty much, you need to drop about $800, $850, $900, somewhere in there, and they're the top decks. Prophecies, or Spellbooks, and E-Dragons. And I honestly think I said a couple of weeks ago that Prophecy is the deck that could possibly wreck Yu-Gi-Oh! And what I meant by that, is when Spellbook of Judgment came out, Prophecies were still a good deck. Judgment made the deck stupid. And if you're not aware of anything Yu-Gi-Oh!, just hear me out here. What the card does is is when you play it, every spell card you play after that, you keep count of, and then in the end phase, you can search out that many cards and add them to your hand, as long as they fit under the spellbook name. Now think about that for a second. If you've played Yu-Gi-Oh, then you won't have to think about it hard, because you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But, one, you're going to at least, nine times out of 10, add at least 5 to 6 cards in your hand. That is dumb. Being able to search out your deck in any game and be able to select multiple cards and add it to your hand is retarded. Now, I understand, every game, every now and again, you're going to have, like, that one card that lets you search out one. Like, in Vanguard, Conroe, he lets you search out one card. That's grade 1 or less and add it to your hand. But Spellbook of Judgment is like... It's like if Bushiroad took Wingle Brave and said, when this card supports a blaster unit and attacks and hits your opponent's Vanguard, you may search out a Blaster Blade, Blaster Dark, Majesty Alert Blaster, a Palamedes, and 2 Marins to put behind Majesty and Palamedes when you're done. That is the equivalent of this card. It literally makes it to where your opponent is never going to have a chance to get control of the board unless they main all the sideboard cards that you use to wreck these two decks. And if you don't draw those cards in game 2 or 3, you're pretty much screwed. And I'm sorry, I think that's wrong. Any card game that is defined by a few decks is wrong. Now, that's why Yu-Gi-Oh! Is fallen so far in my eyes, because it seems like every set that comes out, before it was Spellbooks and Prophecies, Spellbooks and E-Dragons, it was Inzectors and Windups. And I hated Inzectors and Windups, because Windups made you lose your whole hand, and Inzectors, if they got the right hand, they could blow up your whole field and OTK you. And I honestly thought to myself, and I don't know why I thought, how can it get even worse? And then Konami did this. It almost seems to me that Konami is trying to make a deck so broke that it pisses so many people off that they'll just quit the game so Konami can stop production of Yu-Gi-Oh! Completely. And if that's not their intention, then they certainly have a very bad way of hiding it. Because, I don't know. And then it seems like whenever the ban lists come out, or at least the last ban list that came out, it seems like they almost cripple not the deck and its problems that is causing players, it cripples their options of what to use to help slow the deck down, and that's even worse, because it's like Konami is saying, oh, we have discovered that this card helps slow down the decks that are making, that are winning everything. We need to take that off the ban list. Now, I realize someone might be going, well, you might be just hating on it because you can't afford the deck. That's not my point. It shouldn't cost an arm and a leg to play any game that is mainly just for fun. And when I'm talking about games in general, I'm talking just card games in this instance. Because, I'm sorry, okay, one of the cards that E-Dragons runs, it's called something Draco Sack. I think it's Sucks a Dick Draco Sack. I think that's its name. I could be wrong. Sucks a Dick Draco Sack. But what this card does is if you detach a card from it, and you can blow up one card your opponent controls, and on top of that, it can't be hit by card effects during that turn, I think. I can't remember the effect exactly, but my point is, that card, for a playset of them, is about $400, and in Yu-Gi-Oh! Playset is 3, as opposed to Vanguard, where playsets are 4. But 3 of these cards, they're each going to cost you about $120. And that is insane. I can't wrap my brain around that. I have spent $200 on buying a deck before, but that is an entire deck full of $20, $30, and then just your $10 and your $2, $3, $4 cards. But $120 for one? For one card. And at the rate Yu-Gi-Oh! Reprints things, it almost makes me want to smack somebody when I see them spend that kind of money, or they get their parents to spend that kind of money on a card, and it gets reprinted in 3 months. I can't understand that, but And then I look at, okay, to build a prophecy deck or spell books, and then or to build an E-Dragon deck, you're going to spend about $900, right? This is just roughly. It might be 850, but you give me $850, I could build at least 4 Vanguard decks, 3 to 4 Vanguard decks complete with perfect guards for that clan. And I could guarantee you one of those clan decks would be one of the top decks. I guarantee it. I could do that. And that right there makes me want to play Vanguard more, because my money is going to... One, I'm saving money, because, guys, keep this in mind. I have 9 fully built Vanguard decks. The only one that isn't fully built is my Spike Brothers. Every other deck is complete. And I have 1 Yu-Gi-Oh deck. I mean, ask my friends. Especially, my friends that are on Shadow Strike that also knew me when I played Yu-Gi-Oh! I try harder in Vanguard, and I'm willing to strategize more, because Vanguard, it's a more widely open format. In Vanguard, when I made the video with the top 5 decks of the meta, in my opinion, right now, for Vanguard, in that video, I'm pretty sure I said, any deck, if it's in the hands of the right player, it can be the top deck. And I really meant that. People say, well, Great Nature's not a good deck. In the hands of if a Great Nature deck is in the hands of a good player, it can win. And in Yu-Gi-Oh, that's not the case. You could give, just to name a deck that I also like that has absolutely no chance of doing anything in this format, is Gladiator Beasts. You could give a Gladiator Beast deck to Jesus fucking Christ. He could go to a YCS, and he'll be lucky if he wins 1 round. Because the entire format is being ruled in Yu-Gi-Oh right now by prophecies / spellbooks and E-Dragons. And that's wrong. I don't understand what Konami's problem is, but whatever Bushiroad is doing, keep it up, because Bushiroad, in my opinion right now, it has the better card game. Vanguard, in my opinion, takes a lot more skill to play than Yu-Gi-Oh! Because in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's the same stuff over and over and over and over and over and over and over. You play spellbooks, you're going to spend every game searching out for the same pieces, and you're going to drop your boss, and you're going to run over things. In Vanguard, yes, you're always going to use the same boss, just like you are going to use the same boss card in any game in any deck. But it is never the same. Vanguard takes more skill, it takes a better mind, and it takes a more strategic mind, and it's a whole lot more strategical. Strategical? Is that a word? I don't know if that's a real word, but if it isn't, I'm patenting it. That is now a Shadow Strike word. Strategical. It is, in my opinion, the best game to play right now. It is cheaper, it's more fun to play, it's a more balanced card game, and it's more strategical. So... Anyway, guys, I just wanted to kind of get this out here, because I've really been thinking a lot about this, because honestly, I built Evil Swarms right now, which is the one deck they say that possibly could stop the 2 main decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! But I'm honestly thinking about quitting the game, just because it seems like with every set, Yu-Gi-Oh! Gets more broke and more broke and more broke. And, Pokemon and Magic and all the other ones, they just seem to want more money. So, I mean, I don't know, but Vanguard, I mean, yeah, there are expensive cards in Vanguard, but it's just more of a cost-efficient game. Like I said, it's more cost-efficient, it's more fun, it's more balanced, and it's more strategical. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Please tell me in the comment section below, because I really want some feedback here. In your opinion, looking at all the card games that you're aware of or that you have had experience playing, tell me what, in your opinion, in your honest opinion, Shadow Strike members too, if you're a member of this team, please put in the comment section, just so people can read it, and leave your name of what your opinion is and why you think Vanguard is the best game in card games right now, if that's your opinion, which I'm almost positive almost all of my teammates will say that. In fact, I believe all of them will say that. I'm not even going to say I'm pretty sure I know they'll all say that. Well, anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe. Please leave me your thoughts in the comment section on this one. I really want some feedback for this. So please share it with me. I really mean that. And thanks for listening, guys. I'll see y'all later.